Hello, everyone, and you have reached the 56th episode of TLDS, or Too Long Didn't Scroll, the show for you to get your daily news fix quickly and without much hassle, unlike when scrolling through your endless newsfeed. Use this show to find out whatever made global news on any particular day since January of 2023, which you can find on platforms like YouTube and most podcast apps. Happy listening, for you're about to find out whatever happened on March 16th of 2023. We start the events of this Thursday off in the northern African country of Libya, specifically focusing on a region close to its border with Chad, where a particularly concerning discovery may have just been made. Since the outbreak of the Libyan civil war, Libya has been split in two between the western faction based out of Tobruk and an eastern faction based out of Tripoli, which occurred when the country was split in two after the ousting of Muammar Gaddafi. Concerns are raised over who would take ownership of the country's stores of uranium ore, which could then be processed and enriched to form the basis of a nuclear program for energy, and more concerningly, weapons. As of today, some 2.5 tons of uranium ore had been reported missing in the country's largely uncontrolled southern regions, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, after an inspection, which became a point of concern due to Libya's reputation for being a haven for arms dealers and traffickers. However, mere hours earlier, as of recording, the Libyan National Army has claimed they have found the drums of uranium near the country's border with Chad, apparently after inspecting some sort of a storage site, showing a video of a man in protective gear examining but not opening the drums. The agency has yet to verify whether the uranium has actually been recovered. Concerning ourselves with the current state of affairs of the Russo-Ukrainian war, as Ukraine braces in for renewed offensives from Russian-aligned forces, particularly in regions like the Bakhmut, where fierce fighting to take the central city rages on, Ukraine has continued to receive significant aid from its allies in the Western world, with notable examples including monetary and military aid from the United States of America and military vehicle designs from countries like Germany and Poland. The latter of the two, Poland, has furthered its supportive efforts in the form of being the first NATO member country to donate aircraft designs, not just ground vehicles, to Ukraine. Over the coming few days, 4 MiG-29 fighter jets will be delivered to the Ukraine, fulfilling a Ukrainian request for warplanes to combat Russia's own air and drone attack forces. Meanwhile, in the South American country of Brazil and northeastern states like Rio Grande do Norte and Paraiba, violence reigns as civil riots rage the city streets. The riots were likely instigated on orders from numerous imprisoned gang and cartel members, likely disgruntled due to prisons not granting the requests and poor living conditions. During the unrest, several cars, buses, houses, and buildings were set on fire and destroyed, killing a reported 3 people. Police and military have since been dispatched to the regions to quell the violence, arresting several rioters and engaging in shootouts with some of them. Schools in the region have since cancelled classes, as over 200 Brazilian National Guardsmen have now taken to patrolling the streets to maintain security. Moving on over to the country of France, since January, numerous protests and strikes have occurred across the country advocating against a pension reform bill that would raise the country's retirement age from 62 to 64, incurring the anger of numerous public and private sector workers. The last hope for this bill to be shot down would have come from a majority vote against in the French National Assembly. However, as of today, the French President Emmanuel Macron, a vocal supporter of the bill, has announced that he will be invoking a constitutional amendment to allow him to bring the bill past the National Assembly without having them go through a vote. This prompted much controversy as lawmakers began protesting within the chamber themselves at the president. Such will likely affect Macron's reputation as one for shirking government procedure. A no-confidence vote in Macron's government may likely occur in the future as a result. Meanwhile, in the country of Moldova, the country has made a new ruling on its official national language. Previously, after independence from the Soviet Union, Moldova's national language was ostensibly named Moldovan according to its constitution, despite its declaration of independence describing its official language as Romanian. Debates over what the actual language should be have become somewhat heated, with on one side arguing that Moldova should have a language of its own written in Cyrillic to reinforce the Moldovan identity, while many others argue that Moldovan is similar enough to Romanian that differences are hardly warranted. However, as of today, the Moldovan government has made a ruling that the country's official language will henceforth be labeled as Romanian, allowing the Declaration of Independence to take precedent, and will update all official text to reflect this. Many, including pro-Russia parties, have argued against this change, stating that the constitution should take precedent and that Moldova's national identity matters. Elsewhere, in the United Kingdom, bans of the popular Chinese social media app TikTok have continued across Europe and the Western world, and the British government has also made a stand on the platform's current status. As of today, the United Kingdom's government will be prohibiting the app's use on official government-used devices, joining the likes of America, Canada, and European Union. British Cabinet Office Minister Oliver Dowden has described the move as quote-unquote good cyber hygiene, and expressed concerns over how government data could be processed by the app.